Hello, Namaste everyone. I'm Shirin Kulkarni, calling from Finland. Thank you very much for joining me for this Facebook Live. I would like to make one thing clear that this is a pre-recorded video, and I did so to avoid the internet discrepancies and the internet speeds are different in different countries. So just to avoid the technical hassles, I have recorded this video. And after this recorded video, I will be there online to discuss further with you all. So please be with us for the entire video, and then we can discuss the other things related to the topic when I am live. So thanks a lot for being with us, and um, I really understand that we all are going through some unusual situation, and we all are facing this COVID-19 pandemic throughout the world. So here are some prayers from us, and it says Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya, that everybody should be happy and healthy. So I wish you all to stay safe and healthy. Now, when we are going towards our today's topic, I would first like to discuss you something about these unusual situations that we are facing here. So, which things are unusual? So, here is, I made one list of those things. Like, for example, we cannot go out, and we all are used to go out so much. We go out for our work, we go out for our schooling, we go out for our hobbies and for social gatherings. So we are not allowed to do any kind of social gatherings. We cannot go and play on the playgrounds. We cannot attend our hobby classes, and we can't go to our office or to our school. But still, we have something that has been always there. And what are these things? So these things are like, of course, our family members, they are still the same. We have the schoolwork, which we used to have otherwise, and now we have it at home. We have our office work. Maybe some of us had to change the way we used to work earlier, but still we have the office work. We have our homes. We are really fortunate that we have our homes. There are people who don't even have that. So we are really fortunate to have our homes. We are still living in the same residential areas, and we are not stranded somewhere else. So we are in still our own city, our own country, most of us. Our neighbors are still the same. We still have our hobbies with us. So if we used to play guitar, we still have our guitar with us. If we have been singing, we are still singing. We can still sing at our home. And then we all have all the basic necessary materials at our home, be it food supplies, be it our books, notebooks, and pencils and crayons and scissors. So all these basic things are still available with us. So here I kept a picture of a ketchup, so which is like kind of 60% empty but 40% filled. So we all are like in this situation at this moment. So we need to be really positive and think about what we have, and so that we can stop being panicking about what we don't have. Another thing I would like to just tell you is that this Facebook Live will be there for about 20-25 minutes. But from CCE, we will all keep on coming online, and we will be meeting you throughout this lockdown period, because we also feel that we also need to interact with you all to keep our morale high and to be positively engaged. So now the important question we have here is like engaging with children, because we have been in touch with many teachers and parents who ask us that what can we do when our kids are at home. So there are actually two parts to it. So first thing is about our mindset, like how we approach this situation. And the children, as you all know, they like to imitate us. So we are the role models for them as a teacher and also as a parent. So it really depends on how we look at the things, what we have, and then what we do with those things. So I guess for teachers, it is a opportunity to learn new ways of teaching. Some of you who might have already expert at using new technology, but there are still some of us who might not know how to use it effectively. So now this is the time and opportunity where you can really learn how to make the use of new technology. We can also use this time to renew our bonds with the students, because this is the time for more individualistic learning. So you can guide the students more individually, and they can also ask their questions without any kind of hesitation, because they are not in a classroom. So they are more free to talk to you. Maybe we need to think about our changed role in this situation. Earlier, when the teachers were in the classroom, they had like maybe 20 children or 40, or in some other countries, we had 60, 70 children in front of us. So there, the approach of teaching was mostly unidirectional. But now, because of these new methods, new technology, you can think about your changed roles, and where you can be more free and you can more work as an facilitator rather than teacher. So when you are designing new type of study materials, new types of assignments, you need to think about how you are going to put this in front of the students, so that they will feel more engaged and more interested in these studies. This is also the time to upgrade your knowledge. Let it be the subject knowledge or the pedagogical know-how. So there are so many online courses are available from which you can learn. Also on the CCE's website, you can find such courses. Like we have the diploma in early childhood education, we have the for the early childhood education teachers, but it is also useful for the primary level teachers as well, to get some basic knowledge about the brain development, the developmental milestones, and using different kinds of study material, teaching aids. So you can get the basic knowledge about that. Then we also have the courses for administrators, principals, and we are offering these courses at some discounted price. So kindly have a look at that when you have some spare time. And there are also many other courses which are offered. You can get all that information from the internet. So please use this time to learn and upgrade your knowledge. I will also give you some kind of ready references, like some YouTube channels or some apps which you can use. But these are just some generalized tips of how to look at the things what you have here now. Now there are some tips for the parents, because for parents also this is a very unusual situation where everybody is at home. But I would like to tell you that please enjoy this time as your family time, and please be a facilitator and a friend to your children. Because when I was discussing with some parents when they are now at home, they told me that it's very difficult to sit with the children, to make them work. So I would like to tell you that this is their work which they have to do. What you are going to do is to provide them a very good environment. Now when I say a good environment, it means that maybe you can set a table for them, like a study table. You can provide them all the supplies that they need for the studies, like books, notebooks, pencils, eraser, etc., etc. You can provide them some calm environment, maybe a room for themselves, or if you are living in a small house, you can just assign a corner for them, and then you can decide the weekly schedule, and then you can decide like which times are for the studies, which times are for the play, and then it will be very useful for you also to do your work, and for them also to focus on their studies. So this will help you in having a kind of very cooperative kind of environment at home, and you will avoid the conflicts, because if you are busy in the office work, you want them not to disturb you, so you need to make them understand that which are your office work hours, and then which are their study hours, and how you can find some common time where everybody is working, and then some common time where everybody is enjoying together and playing together. Another way to engage them at these times is to involve them into the home chores, because otherwise they are busy, they are going to schools, and you are busy, you are in a hurry to finish off the work. So even if they want to help you, you can't really afford to get delayed, and you want to really finish up the work as quickly as possible so that you can reach to your office at time. But now, at this time, when you are not in hurry, when you don't need to go anywhere, maybe you can involve the children in home chores. Let it be washing the utensils, cleaning the floors, or even folding their clothes, and maybe cooking, because many of the kids are very much interested in cooking. So maybe we can make them independent using this opportunity and using this time. We also need to discuss with them about these unusual situations and the probable reasons for it, like why we are suffering at this moment, why there is this big pandemic is there, what can be the causes for this. And we can also discuss about the probable solutions, like why this might have happened, and what we can do, and what we could have done to avoid it, and what we can do to avoid it in future. So these are the things which we can discuss with them, so that they will understand that putting problems actually is not sufficient, but also finding out the solutions is important. Another thing which I would like to underline is being optimistic. So you have to be optimistic, and you have to keep on telling yourself that this too shall pass. So this is not like something which is going to be permanent, but this pandemic is going to over, and we are going to find out some kind of a vaccine or some kind of drug medication to to get cure. And so even if you are a bit panic because you are reading the news all the time, so I'm advising you not to be panic. And even if you are panic, please don't express it in front of the children, because when you are kind of scared and panic, then they also get this kind of anxiety of that what is going to happen next. So please be optimistic. And try to engage yourself in your own hobbies. If you don't have any at this moment, please try to develop one when you are there now and you have more time. Maybe you need to talk to yourself that what you like the most, and maybe you haven't get enough time to do the things earlier, but now you have the time, so use this time as an opportunity to revive your hobbies. Another important tip is to meditate as a family to be stress free. You can choose the type of meditation. Maybe you are believing in some kind of yoga procedures, or you are believing in some kind of specific meditation. So please go for it. Anything is, and all things are helpful in this moment. Maybe you all can do some yoga together. That is also a good thing to do at this moment. By doing all these things, what will happen is that your children will feel comfortable, they will feel calm, and they will feel safe. So if you are calm, safe, and optimistic, they will also follow you. So these are some tips, and of course we can discuss further about other things that we can do during this presentation and as well as in our Facebook Live later. So whenever we talk about the homework, we always hear this word "oh no" from the students, because they find it very boring, repetitive, and it's a kind of passive learning where they are not actually doing something on their own, and it is not like engaging for them. It's not always the same, but most of the times it is like this, and at least they perceive it like this. They also think that this is like kind of a distant work that they need to do, where there is no personal involvement. So they would like to really, kind to avoid it. They want to avoid this kind of work. So how to make use of this learning from home as an opportunity? Of course, there are several subjects and several methods, but I'm just going to touch upon few methods here. Like for example, there can be some active learning methods for science. Like you can assign them some simple experiments that they can do at home using the material which is easily available at home. So you just need to think about your own countries, and then you can think about what are the common things that you find at your home, maybe in your kitchen, maybe in your bathroom. What kind of things that you can normally find anywhere. And then you can design some simple experiments and assign it to them, which are maybe related to the topics that they have already studied or which they are going to study. So you can think and choose the simple experiments that you would like to assign them. You can also tell them and teach them about, observing the scientific phenomena that are happening. Maybe observing the sky in the night, observing the moon and how it is changing every night. What are the reasons for it? So you can give them such simple tasks. So it's like these kind of tasks can be given to the children who are in preschool and can also be given to the children who are in primary or secondary grades. You can of course vary the level of difficulty according to the children. Now, when the teachers are giving these tasks, I would also like to request the parents to check the interest level of their children in this particular task, and if they feel like this is too much, then they can kind of give them some other solution, like some simpler version of that experiment. And if they think that the assignment which is given by the teacher is simple, then they can also add some extra things to make it challenging for their own children. Then the environmental studies, where you can really encourage your child to observe the nearby surroundings. I know in many countries it's a lockdown situation, but in these situations also you can observe the trees nearby in your housing complex, which you can observe from the either the balconies or from the windows, so that you can really see how the trees are changing, because in most of the part of the world it's spring coming there. So you can really observe how the spring is affecting the nature. And if you can see some new birds there, if you can see some new creatures there, and then you can also take notes. Like the teachers can ask the students to take the photos of the changing trees, the photos of new creatures, new birds that they are watching nearby their houses, and then they can also take notes about what they are observing. And it's a good practice for them for their studies later on also. So we can use this opportunity to, develop the scientific temperament in the children. Similarly, when we think about the subjects like geography, so they can get some assignments related to, like how many countries are totally in a particular continent, and then maybe which is the capital city. They can do these studies using the map, like the world map, world atlas, or your own country's atlas. If you don't have those things at your home, maybe you have a smartphone, and then you can use Google Maps, like how the city is looking from the Google map. You can tell them like to observe the rivers that those are passing through their own cities or the nearby cities or in other nations. You can also ask them to, design simple games related to the countries and the continents, like for example, which animals live in which countries, or which are the national animals for certain countries, which are the national birds for certain countries. So here you are actually doing the interdisciplinary things. Like for example, you are asking them to connect the animals, like from environmental studies, and then you are also connecting it to the geographical facts. So these are like some methods that I could tell you in this about science, environmental studies, and geography. Now going towards our other subjects like maybe languages. So how you can give some kinds of assignments to the children. This is equally applicable to the teachers and parents. So it's mainly about writing their personal experiences, like how they are experiencing the thing at this moment, and maybe about the experiences that they already had in school, or maybe about their field trips, or anything that they would like to express about. Maybe writing a diary would be a good thing for them to do at this moment. Writing letters to relatives and friends, because you are not meeting them, you can't see them at this moment. So maybe writing the letters, and maybe you need to write the letter and take a snapshot of it and send it to them via WhatsApp. But that's a very good idea, and that's how you can use the technology. Then you can also post these letters in your Facebook, so that your relatives can read it, your friends can read it. You can also write the letters to WHO director, for an example, or maybe the prime minister of your nation, or maybe the mayor of your city, about the current situations and what do you think about it, and what is your experience, and what would you like them to do. So maybe you can suggest something from your point of view. Now, because of all these situations, you can also think maybe how the earth might be feeling when so many people are sick, and maybe you can write a monologue about it. And you can also try to think like how the sky is looking. Is it more blue? And how are you feeling when there are not so many vehicles on the road? So there is no honking, and if there are no people moving around too much, so then how do you feel about the silence that you are experiencing? So please make use of this opportunity to express yourself your emotions. And these exercises can be done as family exercises too. So it may so happen that you can have a big paper and then you all can write your experiences together. We have an interesting game where you have to take one paper and then maybe the father is writing his experience like in one line, then he passes the paper to the mother and then the mother writes her experience in one line, and then the child writes, then the mother passes it to the child and the child writes one more line to it, and then again it comes to the father. Like that you can circulate the paper. So here like in Finland, we have lots of snow and we make lots of snowballs. So this method is also called like a snowball method. Maybe you would like to use it. So this is something that you can do for language. There are so many other things which we can discuss and share, but I think I can stop here at the moment, and we can discuss all these other things in coming days, because we will keep on coming live and we will keep on sharing our knowledge and the resources that we have or we have gathered for you through these kind of Facebook lives. But as I don't want to bombard you with a lot of things right in the first Facebook live, so I'm just keeping some things with me at this moment. But I hope you must have got some basic understanding. Like I would just like to revise in few minutes. Like first we discussed about the approach of looking at the things for the teachers. It's like an opportunity to upgrade your knowledge, to learn about new technologies, and to use your creativity to when you are designing the assignments and when you are designing your learning material and your lessons. And for parents, it is important to feel the joy, to experience the joy of being together with your loved ones. And then how you can use the active learning methods for science, environmental studies, and in geography. And then we also looked at what we can do related to languages. Now when I say language, I also mean like your mother tongue or maybe any other second language that you are studying or any third language that you are studying. So for all the languages, these kind of exercises can be done. Maybe in my upcoming Facebook Live, I will also share some educational apps and websites which can be used and which can be helpful. I didn't tell you all those things right in this first Facebook Live, because I first want you to explore other things than using the screens. Because there is a worrisome situation that we already are so much addicted to the screens, and if we are also dependent on it for the education purpose too much, then it might kill our creativity. So just to keep our creativity alive and to nurture it further, there are some other ways than using the screen, and which I wanted to tell you first. So that's why I told you these things here first. And now I would request you to join me on the CCE's Facebook page. So you can find it on Facebook, CCE Finland, so that you can join me there, and our team will be also there to discuss further with you. Meanwhile, you can also put your questions in this chat box where you can see me at this moment. So please feel free to put your questions till the time I join you on the other link where I will be live. So thanks a lot, and it was a pleasure seeing you all here, and we shall keep on meeting regularly. So thank you and namaste. Bye bye.